It's March Madness for the Nord Mustangs. The girls and boys varsity basketball teams are advancing to the state championships this weekend. Here's Mike Maloof with the latest in tournament sports.
Thanks, Coach. Tournament time rolls on for the Mustangs as the boys and girls basketball teams continue to advance. But we're going to start this week's sports update with a very controversial boys hockey game. After a double overtime win against Newburyport, the number 7 seed boys hockey team has advanced to the Elite 8 and traveled up Route 128 to take on the number 2 seed Gloucester Fishermen. The game was sold out in hours and over 1,500 fans filled Gloucester's Talbot Rink, with the majority of them rooting for their home team. The Fishermen got on the board early when Emerson Marshall finished a give and go just 5 minutes into the game. After some back and forth play, Kevin Broderick would get one back for the Mustangs in a short-handed breakaway to tie the game at 1. Then, with just 42 seconds left in the period, Nord would take the lead on a Connor Lydon goal. Let's listen to the call.
Got Dittmeyer, the goal scorer, Kevin Broderick, and Connor Lydon out there now with Anthony Riccardi and George Tolman back in the... and there's a giveaway!
Yes!
Connor Lydon scores!
Nice.
All right!
All right, good forecheck, Beautiful play. Pressure put on, get pucks in deep, make them defensemen make the play, and they turn it over. The second unassisted goal, I believe.
In the second, it didn't take long for the Fishermen to get one back. A missed interference call would lead to a wide-open look for senior Jack Costanzo, and he would make the most of his opportunity. He tied the game on a beautiful shot just 2 minutes into the period. Then Gloucester would take a 3-2 lead halfway through the period on a shot from defenseman Derek Elm. And just 5 minutes later, Costanzo would bury a beautiful short-handed opportunity and put the Fishermen up 4-2. That's how the second period would end. In the third, the Mustangs would battle all the way back, with the first goal from defenseman Kyle Ledger and the second from, well, you guessed it.
It's on into the zone. Oh!
Wow!
What a
Wow! Nice move. 1-on-4.
Yes.
1-on-4. Get the puck to the net. You never know what's going to happen. Beat them block aside.
What a play by Ledger.
It was a back and forth period, and with 4.5 minutes left in a tie game, a whistle noise came from the stands, halting play on the ice. During the confusion, Costanzo kept going and scored on a clean breakaway for his hat trick. Let's play the clip. Referees huddled up for over 2 minutes and eventually awarded Gloucester the goal. With the score 5-4, the Mustangs would try to get the momentum back. They pulled their goalie, and as time was winding down, Costanzo snuck in and scored one more for Gloucester, making the score 6-4 with 33 seconds left. We had a chance to talk to head coach Chuck Allen and get his take on the game.
We were down 4-2 going to the third, and then we made it 4-3. Then in about 6 minutes, we made it 4-4. We had the momentum going. We had the puck in their zone, and we heard a whistle. And once we heard the whistle, everyone stopped. You see the linesmen skating across the ice to go get the puck. And all of a sudden, number 8, their best player, took the puck and went down and scored a goal. And no one knew what was going on. So we thought the rest were going to call it back. And they all met, and I heard them say, their explanation to me was, no one here blew the whistle, but we heard a whistle and everyone stopped. When they said that, and I said to them, you told us before the game, meeting with the captains and the coaches, that play till you hear a whistle, and that's what every kid is taught growing up playing hockey, and we did that. So that's what really happened, and that's the explanation, and none of us agree with it, and I don't think anybody that watches the video will agree. No one's ever agreed with it. Anyone I talk to has never agreed with it. So kind of upsetting. We had all the momentum going and kind of drained the kids, their adrenaline, and all of a sudden now they score an open net and it's all over. But our kids, their adrenaline just left after that. It was the next day, their assigner I spoke with, and he spoke with all 4 of the 2 refs and 2 linesmen, and came down to the conclusion that the whistle should have been blown, and they admitted it. It's great for the official to admit they're wrong, but it still doesn't do the 22 kids any justice or what happened. But, you know, they're human beings too, and they made a mistake. And I think if it was a neutral site, if it wasn't at their place, they would have reversed the goal too. I was hoping that we would get an explanation, something to put the year to rest, a comfort thing maybe from either the MIAA or from Gloucester saying, you know, not an apology letter, but something to that extent. And I haven't heard anything about that. So
The boys ended their season with a 19-3-1 record. 19 wins is the most wins a boys hockey team has had in program history. So congrats on that, and also congrats on the Tri-Valley League Championship. It was a really great season. Now it's off to the court for the boys basketball team, who had not one, but 2 overtime tournament games this week. Friday, they traveled to Mansfield to take on the number 2 seed Hornets. It was a packed house at Mansfield High School, and Nord came out firing out of the gates. Joey Steves scored the first 4 points for the Stangs, but it was their patented defense that shined in the first, holding the Hornets to just 6 points. After one, Nord led 14-6. Mansfield would close the gap early, but it was all Nord in the second. The Stangs ended the quarter on an 8-0 run, and the score at half would be 27-14 Nord. In the third, Mansfield would show why they were the number 2 ranked team in the division. It was timely threes, strong play in the paint, and some tough defense that would bring the Hornets back. The score after 3 was 33-28 Nord. The fourth quarter was an absolute battle, with teams trading basket for basket. With about 1:30 left in the game and the Stangs up by 7, the Hornets would respond.
To Slaney in the corner for 3! Slaney buries it.
Is it too early to foul? Nope. It's still the
And underneath, Highland scores off the steal.
It's a 2-point game.
Mansfield would hit another bucket to knot the game at 44, and after a few misses from both teams, Noah Bodette would have a chance to win it.
All right, Norwood has the ball, 1.6 seconds left. They have to go the flank of the court as well. Ade has it, will throw a long pass. It's in Bodette's hands, he will put it up. Is he fouled? No call. No call, I believe.
After only one basket by each team and some missed opportunities late, the game would head into double overtime. In double overtime, the Mustangs were led by timely baskets from Noah Bodette and a huge free throw performance by Matty Mahoney. They would eventually come away with a 57-51 win and move on to play Burlington in the Final Four. The next day, it was the girls' turn as they hosted North Quincy in what would be their last home game of the season. The fans for both sides packed the gym for what many would say was the most crowded event ever at the new Nord High School gym. Nord would set the pace early, scoring the first 7 points of the game. Then it was North Quincy's turn as they would respond with a few baskets of their own. The quarter would end 14-10 in favor of Nord. The second quarter would be much of the same for the Mustangs. Good ball movement and some strong post play would extend the lead for the Mustangs, and at half, Nord would lead 26-18. In the third, the girls proved why they were the top-ranked team, getting scoring from multiple players, none bigger than this shot at the end of the third quarter to extend the lead to 13.
And Megan even played some volleyball for us.
That's right. And
during
actually,
her
Megan
early years here in Norwood.
Nice shot by
And
Alexa.
there's Chorus as she drills a 3, Alexa's second triple of the game.
In the fourth, the Mustangs continued to push the pace and lock it down on defense, furthering their lead to 20 points at different times. The final at the barn was 57-39, and we had a chance to speak to senior captain Erin Reen after the game.
Congratulations, y'all are headed to the Final Four.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You played just a wonderful game out there. We always just see you directing the team and calling out some different plays and really keeping the composure. What's that like to be such a leader for such a selfless team?
Honestly, it's the teammates that get me going. Like, to lead them is the best thing to do. They're the best player to lead ever.
Then, on Tuesday, it was off to Worcester State for the Final Four matchup between the number 7 seeded Norwood versus the number 3 seeded Burlington. It was an uncharacteristic start for Norwood with some early turnovers, and Burlington would take advantage. They would hit a few threes and had easy transition baskets, and after one, Norwood would trail 15-9. Norwood came out in the second playing much better as baskets would start to fall, led by senior captain Joey Steves.
That they have to challenge them, can't let them just sit back and shoot those threes all day.
And in fact, Coach Connors is going to have to figure out what else to do. There's Steves using the other side Joey Steves now has 10 points, ties the ball game at 22.
After battling back to tie it, Nord would give up 5 points late and would trail by a score of 31-26 at half. Coach McDonald would make some key changes at half, and Nord came out in the third and locked it down on defense, and Joey Steves would continue his scoring touch.
Steves trying to force the issue on Rodriguez, and does. Joey Steves, 2 more points. He now has 16.
Nord and Burlington would go to the fourth tied. It was back and forth to start the quarter, but with about 5 minutes to go in the game, Nord would go on a 9-0 run. To the credit of Burlington, they would respond with a 11-0 run themselves and regain the 57-55 lead. Nord would fight back to tie it, and as was the case against Mansfield, they would have the ball and the last shot to win it.
All right, we'll see what happens here. They got a taller guy, James Ellis, blanketing Noah Beaudet. Beaudet trying to get open. The long court pass to Beaudet. The turnaround, the shot. It's... Oh, wow.
That was close.
That ball almost went in.
In overtime, after a couple early baskets by Burlington, Nord relied on what got them there, defense. The Stangs would go on to hit some timely free throws, and the final at Worcester was 69-66 Nord. We talked to state finals bound coach herself after the game.
Yeah, I thought we battled in the first half. We were a little bit lucky in keeping ourselves close because I didn't think we played our best defense. We made some adjustments at halftime, and these guys really bought into those changes. And we played a type of man-to-man that we haven't played for the rest of the season. So to be able to switch it up that quick and to be able to do it correctly, I thought they did a great job. And they just bring so much fire on every play. I'm like madly in love with this team. I love coaching them. I love being around them. Just a great group of guys.
And the final game of the week was the girls' Final Four matchup against number 5 seeded Whitman Hanson. It was a low-scoring affair early as both teams were feeling each other out. Nord was only able to put up 8 points in the first and found themselves trailing 10-8. In the second, Nord senior leaders stepped up and put the team on their backs. Megan Olbreys and Erin Reen hit bucket after bucket.
Yeah.
Talks to you with respect and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's one thing.
She was a little close to his face, maybe a little nervous.
Oh, strong.
Oh, look at Erin Reen.
At half, Nord would find themselves with a 3-point lead, winning 24-21. In the third, Nord would put on a defensive clinic. 3 blocks and 5 steals in the quarter would keep the Panthers off the board, and none better than this block and transition basket.
Yeah, I guess that's that helped that she got knocked so far out of bounds
Right.
that she was so far behind the play.
Oh, nice block, and here goes Trisha. Take your time. Yeah.
Some huge threes would eventually put the Lady Stangs up 35-28, leading into the fourth quarter. The Panthers would show a ton of fight late, hitting some big baskets, and with under a minute left, senior Megan Stone hit a 3 to put them within 3 points. Huge foul shots by Erin Reen and Trisha Witkowski would seal it for the Mustangs, and Nord would eventually come away with a 51-46 win. We talked to Coach Quinn after the game.
That was a very physical game. We knew they were going to be a great team. They execute super well, so we were trying to, as best as possible, just kind of throw them off their game a little bit, throw them off what they wanted to do. And I thought my girls executed defensively. We had a little bit more turnovers than I would have wanted, but they kind of just stuck with it, and we knew it was going to be a grinded out win.
Well, that'll do it for sports this week. From everyone at NCM, we'd like to say good luck to the girls and boys basketball teams competing in the state finals this weekend. The boys will be taking on Malden Catholic at 4 p.m. and the girls will be taking on Oliver Ames at 6 p.m. Both games will be played at the Tsongas Center in Lowell. If you have not done so yet, go buy your tickets and support the Stangs. Ticket info can be found at the Nord Mustang Twitter account. Now, we'll toss it back to Coach. Kristen, take it away.
Thanks, Mike, and go Stangs.